Hi again, everybody. Bill Phillips here on a Thursday. It is the 9-Minute Phill-Up. And of course, the past few days we have featured the Sports Friday on the Go sign because we're talking high school football. But it is the 9-Minute Phill-Up brought to you by Valley Converting. So we greatly appreciate that. And we greatly appreciate our guest, Ralph Petrella. He is here today to talk about a fundraiser that's going on this weekend. And Ralph, I don't know if people are keeping track. You might be the number one guest on the show.
I'm trying. That is my goal. I think it's a great show, and I'm really happy to be here.
Well, before we get to the fundraiser, let's talk a little safety.
Okay, safety.
Let's talk a little safety. Here's the issue. Last few days, it's been about 95 degrees.
Been warm.
It's been really, really warm. It's been humid. It's going to be hot and humid again today. And even when they said, well, the temps are going down, well, they're only going to go down about 88, 89 degrees, 87. So it's still going to be very warm, very humid, or that's what's expected. How critical is it, or what are some of the things people can do to help protect themselves when the weather and the temperatures get this tough?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing is stay in the shade. If you're going to be outside, make sure that you have a hat on. Make sure that you are wearing sun protection. I don't wear sunscreen, so I wear a long sleeve sun shirt. I think sunscreen that's neither here or there for all the chemicals in it, but and hydration is really, really important, but not just drinking water, but adding a little salt to your water or having an electrolyte beverage.
Okay.
Because a lot of times we'll drink water.
Electrolyte beverage for someone might be what, a Pedialyte,
a Gatorade. But you got to watch the sugar, because sugar will also draw water out of the body and kind of dehydrate you. So you should be, if you're having a Gatorade, make sure you have a water with it. That's really, really important. But the salt is really important because you'll drink a ton of water. In reality, you're just flushing out electrolytes.
Okay.
So you got to make sure that you have your sodium. So put a little salt in your water. If you don't like the flavor of salted water, put a little lemon in the water to mask that. But you got to have salt. You got to have maybe some calcium, some magnesium, things like that, potassium.
Okay.
That way you're not just flushing out all your electrolytes. It's really important.
All right. So critical to stay hydrated during these hot summer days. And I'll tell you what, summer just came right through the door and said, here you go.
It's been great.
But and here's another one for you. Everybody likes to, you have guys that maybe their thing is to go play golf on the weekend. Maybe you are a runner. Maybe you're a weekend warrior runner. So you're not necessarily running during the week. It's like, hey, on the weekend, I like to go out and get 3 miles in. Well, I'm feeling good. It's nice and warm, feeling loose. I'm going to go 5 or 6, but it's 95 degrees out, and you normally don't do that. How many times? And Ralph he's an expert. He owns Cine Gym in Follinsby, absolutely fantastic place. But it's one of those things where you have put your heart and soul into this, to finding out about how the human body works best.
Absolutely.
How dangerous is it for the weekend warrior, for the person that maybe is not doing it every day, and even the people that do it every day? You can still overdo it. Dela Cruz for the Reds got sick on the field, their shortstop, in the heat because it was so hot, it overwhelmed them. Yeah. But you go out and you think, I'll be fine. I do this every Saturday, but you add a couple miles, and all of a sudden you're in trouble. So is this the time, even though it's nice and warm, great weather, you maybe reel it in a little bit on some of those?
Yeah, you have to. You have to practice some moderation in these high temperatures. Just like you said, even if you're a trained athlete, you have to take frequent water breaks. We talk about every 15 minutes, get a sip, keep your mouth wet. Notice if you're sweating or not. If you stop sweating during activity, you are in instant danger. Like if you notice that you're training, if you're working out, if you're running, if you're golfing, like, man, I'm not sweating, I'm dry now. Yeah. You're in danger. So always be sweating.
What's that a sign of?
Dehydration. That is you are too dehydrated to cool yourself now. So that's, we're at risk for heat stroke. We're at risk for heat related illnesses, and even hypothermia. Like if your body cannot regulate yourself, you're at there's a lot of big risks there. And so make sure you're sweating, make sure your mouth is wet. That is another one. If you're starting getting dry mouth, that's a real quick indicator of potential dehydration. And there's not just dehydration, but heat exhaustion, right? So you might be hydrated, but the heat might just be unbearable for you. So moderation is going to be key. And limiting your time to direct sunlight. You kind of have to monitor yourself, be aware of your body, be aware of yourself, be aware of your surroundings and things like that.
Okay. And one of the things I said before, as we're on the 9-minute Phill-Up, but it's Sports Friday on the go. And if you recall from last year, our first year was Sports Friday on the go. High school football brought you about 7 games a night, in and out of the highlights and everything. Well, we have our media days this week. We had the first night last night at the Highlands Complex down in Triadelphia, and we were there at their indoor facility for the football. We had a number of coaches, players come over and talk to us. It was on Fox 9 from 5 to 8 and all of our digital platforms. Well, we bring it back tonight, this time from Seven Ranges Entertainment in Steubenville, again on Fox 9 from 5 to 8, and then also on all of our digital platforms. And the great thing about the digital platforms, if you can't watch it from 5 to 8, you can go back and watch it later. So if you missed last night, you go, oh, man, I missed last night. I wanted to hear from the Union Local coach or the Wheeling Park coach or, any of the coaches, Barnesville coach. You want to make sure, Monroe Central coach, you want to make sure you can go back and watch those. So you can do that online. Tonight, 5 to 7, Seven Ranges. If you want to come out, be a part of it, hey, come on out and meet some of the players, some of the coaches on the teams, and we will be happy to talk with you. But that's going to be there tonight. So that's why Sports Friday on the go is there. You are a dog lover.
I love dogs.
So, and it makes me think of this. We were talking about the heat. Remember, people, and you can agree with me or disagree. Just agree. It's easier. The dogs, pets, cats, dogs, animals, horses, mules, whatever the case may be, goats. Make sure they're getting the water that they need when it's hot like this. And if you're going to walk the dog, check the temperature of the asphalt. If you put your hand down and you're like, wow, that's really hot.
It's hot for them.
It's super hot for their paws. So you want to make sure you take care of the dogs as well. We don't leave them out. But now, our number one reason why we're here, and she's just walked in the room. That's not true. But she has walked in the room. So anytime she walks in the room, she's the number one reason that we do anything. Jamie Baker is in the room. And apparently, Ralph, Jamie Baker, when she goes running, she's a little afraid of the Canadian geese that hiss at her.
Okay. I've had some really bad experiences, Ralph.
With the Canadian geese.
As recently as yesterday.
All right.
And the geese, okay. So I run.
Is your microphone on?
Yes, I think so. That's the
number 4?
one. Yes.
All right, good.
I run the river trails.
Okay.
And so obviously I see a lot of geese. And I am not afraid of I put my headphones in, I just get in the zone. But these geese, they now have babies and they stand in the middle of the trail. So you try to avoid them and they hiss at you. And that is the one thing I'm afraid of when I go running. There's a million things in this world that could go wrong, but the only thing I focus on are these geese.
And geese are violent. They're vicious.
Oh, yeah.
They're so mean.
We had to worry about that in Minnesota a lot. There was a field across from where I lived when I lived in Minnesota, and on their migration paths, they are very territorial. So yeah, you can,
run faster.
Give them treats. Maybe I don't know, like some sardines. Throw a sardine out so they can.
Oh God, yeah.
It's gonna be great to run with.
The smells I'm creating running 6 miles aren't bad enough.
The sardine, the geese would look at the sardine and go, "What is that?"
I think they would like free food. They're Canadians.
Yeah.
They're all about
Well, I was gonna say
stuff.
I like free food too, so I can understand that. We had a story yesterday about somebody being motivated by food.
Throw some poutine.
Oh,
They'd probably like that.
Before we
I would
get
run
to
off
these.
the trails for some poutine.
Yeah,
poutine's great.
You
cheese
poutine.
curds.
Oh yes,
Poutine.
Yes.
Oh
we're
yeah,
big poutine
100%.
fans.
That's good stuff. All right. Well, Jamie's here, and I think she's going to be able to talk about this too because she's always in the weight room.
Oh yeah,
jacked.
Big event coming up this weekend, Jamie. Barbecue and Barbells fundraiser.
Oh, nice.
And Ralph, it's over at Cinna, over in Follinsby, right there at your place,
1400 Main Street, Follinsby, West Virginia.
All right. So tell me about the event, because this is big. This is going to help a child that's dealing with some adversity, some really tough adversity.
Yes. We are raising money for a kid named Francis Bergsma, and he has, I'm going to butcher this name, as most medical terminologies are crazy names, glioblastema or something like that.
Yeah.
But is a rapid growing form of brain cancer.
Okay.
And traditional routes of the medicine have not been going successful. So the family is making a venture to more experimental routes to try to get Francis help, and typical insurances don't cover those. So they're paying a lot of money out of pocket, a lot of staying in Pittsburgh and other places during treatments, medical bills, even just helping the family have food
Yeah.
right? Making sure that they don't have to worry about, day-to-day expenses. While Francis is going through these treatments is really imperative. And
How old's Francis?
I believe he's 16.
Okay.
And there's a website, it's istandwithfrancis.com, that you can learn more about everything that is going on with Francis and his family. So it's istandwithfrancis.com. He's a young man, and you hate to see it. And at this day and age, everybody has known somebody with cancer, and everybody has seen the battles from professional athletes all the way down to the youngest children. And cancer sucks. Like it's hard. It's hard on the body. It's hard on everybody around.
So tell me about the event. How can people help? Because obviously it's dire situation.
Yep.
How can people help? How can Jamie help? How can I help? How can my neighbor help when they hear about this story? What do we need to do?
So you can come to our event. There's also several.
When's the event?
So the event is going to be this Saturday.
June 28th.
I was going to say January 20th to June 28th. We have a weightlifting seminar starting at 8:30. That's going to run till 11:30, and then the barbecue will be served at 11:30. You can just show up for the barbecue. You don't have to lift weights. If you're not a weightlifter, don't come. That's fine. That's not your thing. If you want to learn about lifting weights, we are teaching.
So this isn't necessarily like a we're going to go on a 5-mile run or anything. It's it's more of a learning situation.
Yes. Yep.
So you could literally go there, learn about some weight training, learn about Francis's condition, what he's dealing with.
Absolutely.
And then you can go outside and enjoy some great barbecue.
Yeah, and it'll be inside.
See, I told Jamie that she'd be all about this event because Jamie, barbecue,
it's
best condiment in the world. Number one condiment in the world is barbecue sauce.
We're gonna have some good pork butts.
What time's it start?
Again, the lifting seminar starts at 8:30. The meal starts at 11:30. You can come for both. You can come for either.
Okay, when can I sneak back there and get some stuff before everybody else? Just like if I'm there
11:30.
11:30.
I
was trying.
Maybe a little earlier.
Oh, maybe you should
come to a weightlifting seminar.
Yeah, they probably could do that. So all right, so again. Just a big event, and if people want to just stop by and make a donation, they don't have to stay for either.
Not absolutely, they can.
And can they make a donation on the website?
I believe so. I do. Okay. Yes.
Give that way. The istandwithfrancis.com.
Yep. You can also buy a shirt from shopthinkpositive.com. Evan Long, who is a Steubenville Central grad and a Franciscan student, he has a website, and he's donating all of the proceeds to shirt sales.
Oh, that's awesome.
As well. And if you're a coffee lover, the day of the event, the Grind Cafe is also donating 10% of all their earnings of the day to the cause as well. And again,
I've tried the Grind. It's right next door to the Cinna.
I spent a lot of money there,
so it's convenient. It's nice. Jamie is she's between coffee and barbecue. How can you go wrong?
Maybe
you get there at 8:30, get your coffee, walk around, look at the learn about the weight training. Then by 11:30, you go, man, I'm a little bit hungry. You get the barbecue, you make a couple donations and everything, and that's a great day.
Yeah, and even if, again, you don't have to stay, if you just want to make a donation, if you want to make just a donation to the family directly through their website, again, we just want to.
Will Francis be there?
I'm not sure based on his condition.
Okay. Understandable.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering.
We would hope so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But depending on how he's feeling, depending on where he's at with treatment, sometimes when you are going through treatments like this, you can't be around. You can't be around groups because your immune system's compromised as well. And that's delicate, right? We can't put anybody in harm's way.
No. I mean, it's one of those things where our thoughts, prayers, everything that we can do, and if that's something that you have thoughts and prayers, please do that for Francis. And if maybe you have an extra $20, $10, $5, doesn't matter. I mean, whatever you can donate, if you choose to do that. It sounds like the barbecue is going to be fantastic.
I'm a smoking an offset smoker, old school, not a pellet grill. So there's going to be a lot of love in it. I'm going to be manning offsets. We're going to do some applewood. There might be even a coffee rub involved. So
watch out.
Double caffeine.
Okay. Well, the biggest thing, istandwithfrancis.com. Find out all the information about Francis's condition. You can probably make a donation there. If not, I'm sure we can find out where to do that. Now, Evan, his website again for the t-shirts?
shopthinkpositive.com, and it's the barbecue and barbells t-shirt.
Okay.
So if you buy a shirt, again, all the proceeds from that specific shirt are going to Francis. And then again, the grind is donating the day of. So
okay. And if I come over and I'm going to do the lifting and the barbecue, what's the cost of that?
We're asking for adults for a $10 donation. Again, it's a donation, so we can't.
You can't beat that.
Yeah, 20. Did I say $10? $20 for adults, $10 for children.
Okay.
I apologize for misspeaking. Again, all you can eat as well. So we're gonna have plenty of food. We're gonna have plenty of sides. We're gonna have plenty of dessert. So it's all you can eat. So for all you can eat barbecue, that's a heck of a deal. Plus, if you're doing a weightlifting seminar, add that on as well. So it's a heck of a deal to help somebody. And that's what we want to do. We've helped a child who needed a heart transplant. We helped a child with craniostenosis. His sutures in his skull fused prematurely, so they had to literally break his skull to let it grow. We've raised money for AEDs for local communities. So that's one thing that we're passionate about at Cinna is helping the community, and this is a great way to give back. Me and my family ran a 5K earlier in the year for Francis, and this event actually stemmed from my son's idea. He's 6. And he almost killed himself running as hard as he could.
Oh, jeez.
Because he thought the harder he ran, the more help Francis could get.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. That makes sense.
So Craig's awesome. So had to explain to him it doesn't necessarily work like that.
Yeah. If it did, how much easier would the world be?
100%.
Yeah, it'd be 100%. Fantastic.
So he wanted to do more. So he was the idea behind us doing this event.
Okay. Well, again, we're going to wrap things up, and I can't thank you enough, Ralph Petrella from Cinna over in Follinsby and 1400 Main Street.
Yes, sir.
1400 Main Street in Follinsby, and they're having a barbecue and barbells event tomorrow. Now, if you don't want to go and get off. Saturday.
I was thinking that. I was like, is it Friday? It is not.
June 28th. June 28th, Saturday. June 28th, Saturday. June 28th, Saturday. June 28th.
I said January earlier. So.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember what day of the week it is half the time. So a Saturday morning starts at 8:30 for the barbells. Barbecue 11:30. Go over, be a part of it. If you don't have time to do either one, go over. If you can make a donation, make a donation. If you're going over to get a coffee, go get a coffee at the Grind. It's right next door. Great coffee.
Great coffee.
And it's one of those things. They're going to donate 10%. If you want to get a T-shirt with barbecue and barbells, you go to shopthinkpositive.com. Shopthinkpositive.com. And then, of course, you can go to istandwithfrancis.com, find out more information about that. Ralph, can't thank you enough. And continued success. I mean, that's one thing last year. You said, I want to go raise money for AEDs after your dad passed from a heart attack, and you want to donate that. And you did to the softball league. And
we're going to do that
again. So, that's coming up in August. We'll talk about that coming up, I'm sure. So continued success with that and just thoughts and prayers with Francis.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets the treatment and everything that he needs so he can beat this thing. And anybody out there, 2 rules before I get all choked up. 2 rules. 2 rules. Have fun and try your best. Good job, brother.
You too. Thank you.
Francis, stand strong.